If you are caring for, living with, or loving someone who has been diagnosed with Sjogren's disease, today's video is arguably the most important one you will watch this year. Most people have never even heard of Sjogren's, yet it is one of the most prevalent autoimmune conditions. Because it is largely an invisible illness, it carries a heavy psychological and emotional burden. Your loved one might look completely fine on the outside, which leads to a massive disconnect when they are suffering profoundly on the inside. Today, we are going to dive deep into the 3 things you must never, ever do with your loved one who has Sjogren's disease. These 3 things are incredibly common mistakes. In fact, most well-meaning family members, spouses, and friends do them every single day without even realizing they are causing real, physical harm and emotional distress. Avoiding these 3 pitfalls will radically change your daily dynamic. It will make your life as a supportive partner or caregiver significantly easier, reduce friction in the household, and more importantly, it will lower the chances of your loved one experiencing severe, painful flare-ups or feeling deeply isolated by their condition. If that sentence just landed for you, if something in what I've described so far sounds familiar, I've put together a symptom map that shows exactly how this condition progresses, what shows up at each stage, and where the standard tests are most likely to miss it. Type symptom map in the comments right now and I'll send it to you directly. Because what I'm about to show you next is why that map matters more than most people realize, and why the stage you're in changes everything about what happens next. If this is your first time here, welcome to our community. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a practical, symptom management breakdown. Let's get straight into the details. Tip number 1. Do not dismiss or minimize their fatigue as just being tired. Let's start with the symptom that causes the most emotional friction, arguments, and broken expectations in relationships: fatigue. The fatigue that comes with Sjogren's disease is completely distinct from the normal tiredness you or I feel after a long workday, a poor night's sleep, a chaotic week, or a heavy workout. When a healthy person is tired, they go to bed, get a solid 8 hours of sleep, and wake up feeling relatively refreshed and ready to tackle the next day. For a person with Sjogren's, sleep does not fix the problem. They can sleep for 10, 12, or 14 hours and still wake up feeling as though they have a severe case of the flu and haven't slept a wink. Sjogren's is not just a disease of dry eyes and a dry mouth, it is a systemic, progressive autoimmune condition. This means their immune system is fundamentally broken. It misidentifies healthy, normal tissues as dangerous foreign invaders. Day and night, without a single moment of rest, their white blood cells, specifically lymphocytes, are actively infiltrating and attacking their exocrine glands, muscles, joints, and other organ systems. This creates a state of permanent, low-grade systemic inflammation. Your loved one's body is constantly releasing pro-inflammatory signaling proteins called cytokines, such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. These are the exact same chemicals your body releases when you are fighting off a severe virus. Biologically, their body is running a continuous, internal marathon just to keep basic systems functioning. Their mitochondria, the energy powerhouses of their cells, are under constant cellular stress. When you look at your loved one and see them sitting on the couch looking completely wiped out, or when they tell you they simply do not have the energy to go out to dinner, what you must never do is say things like, "Come on, we only walked around the supermarket for 20 minutes, you can't be that tired already. You slept for 9 hours last night, how can you possibly still need a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? If you just exercised more, ate a better diet, or got some fresh air, you'd shake off this laziness and have more energy. If I can push through my long work days, you can find the strength to do basic things around the house." When you say these things, you are treating a cellular, biological symptom like it is a character flaw, a bad attitude, or a simple lack of motivation. You are suggesting that if they just tried harder, they wouldn't be sick. This triggers an immediate, crushing wave of guilt, shame, and deep emotional isolation for them. Because they look perfectly healthy on the outside, they already live with a constant fear of being judged by the world. When that judgment comes from the person closest to them, it is heartbreaking. They feel like they have to constantly defend their illness and prove their pain to the person who is supposed to be their safe harbor. Instead of dismissing it, you need to proactively acknowledge this hidden physical battle. You need to use active validation to let them know that you understand their body is fighting a war you cannot see. You want to shift your language entirely. Try saying things like, I know your body is fighting a massive internal battle right now, and I can see how much energy it is draining from you. Please don't worry about the dishes or the laundry today. Your only job right now is to let your body rest. I can see this flare-up is hitting your energy levels incredibly hard today. Let's completely cancel our plans with the neighbors for tonight. We can stay in, order some food, and just have a completely quiet evening. You don't have to force yourself to smile for anyone. To make your life as a caregiver much easier, you need to throw out the concept of rigid, packed schedules and start practicing a technique called energy pacing. Think of your loved one's daily energy as a battery that only charges to 30%, even on a good day. Every single action, from showering to making breakfast, drains that battery. If you have a family event on a Saturday afternoon, you cannot plan a busy shopping trip on Saturday morning. You must balance high-energy activities with mandatory rest periods. Ensure that the day before and the day after a major outing are kept completely clear of obligations. When you build rest directly into the structure of your household schedule, your loved one no longer has to suffer through the humiliation of constantly begging for a break or feeling like they are ruining everyone else's fun. If you understand how deeply this cellular fatigue impacts them, and you are fully ready to stop comparing their autoimmune exhaustion to normal tiredness, type the word solidarity in the comments below right now. Tip number 2. Do not pressure them into dry, windy, or heavily air-conditioned environments. The defining hallmark and core diagnostic criteria of Sjogren's disease is what medical professionals call the Sika complex. This is the severe, chronic, and destructive dryness of the body's mucosal surfaces. The autoantibody attack in Sjogren's targets the lacrimal glands, which produce tears to protect the eyes, and the salivary glands, which produce saliva to protect the mouth and upper digestive tract. This results in a massive, catastrophic drop-off in both the total quantity and the structural quality of tears and saliva. Most people think tears are just water, but healthy tears actually have 3 distinct layers: a mucin layer, an aqueous layer, and a crucial lipid or oil layer that prevents the water from evaporating. Sjogren's completely destroys the body's ability to produce these protective oils. When you expose a person with Sjogren's to moving air, the tiny amount of moisture their eyes manage to produce evaporates almost instantly. This leaves the delicate surface of the cornea completely exposed, raw, and unprotected. To a Sjogren's patient, being in a room with moving air feels exactly like having coarse sandpaper or shards of glass rubbed directly into their eyeballs with every single blink. It triggers extreme light sensitivity, chronic inflammation, severe redness, and if left unprotected, can lead to painful corneal ulcerations, infections, and permanent vision scarring. Similarly, the lack of saliva, known medically as xerostomia, means their mouth is devoid of the natural defenses that protect them every second of the day. Saliva contains crucial enzymes, proteins, and minerals that buffer acids, wash away bacteria, protect teeth from aggressive decay, and lubricate the esophagus so food can slide down safely. Without it, the tongue becomes raw, cracked, and deeply painful. Speaking for more than a few minutes causes the tongue to literally stick to the roof of the mouth, making communication incredibly uncomfortable. Eating becomes a hazardous chore, as dry foods can easily cause choking or tear the fragile lining of the throat. Knowing these biological realities, you must never force, pressure, or guilt your loved one into environments or situations that accelerate this drying process. You must never say things like, "Oh, stop being so difficult and high maintenance, the air conditioner isn't blowing that hard. Why do you always have to pack a massive bag filled with 3 different types of eye drops, mouth sprays, and a giant water flask just to go to a quick dinner? It is embarrassing. Why can't you just eat the food served at the party? It's just a cracker or a piece of grilled chicken, you don't need a special sauce or a glass of water with every single bite. Turn on the ceiling fan, it is hot in here, you can just wear sunglasses if your eyes bother you." Pressuring them to just deal with it or change their behavior is asking them to endure literal physical agony. Blasting car dashboard vents, overhead ceiling fans, outdoor wind, smoky environments, or heavily air-conditioned rooms can trigger an ocular flare-up that causes intense pain for days on end. Forcing them to eat dry, dense, spicy, or highly acidic foods without adequate lubrication can cause severe mouth sores, dental emergencies, and absolute terror of choking. Instead of fighting their needs, you must step up and become their ultimate environmental defender. You need to do proactive detective work before you arrive anywhere together to eliminate these physical triggers. For example, when you walk into a restaurant, a church, or a social gathering, immediately look up. Locate the air conditioning vents. Proactively ask the host or the restaurant staff for a table or seating arrangement that is completely away from direct airflow, overhead vents, or swinging kitchen doors where air currents are high. When you get into the car together, make it a habit to manually adjust the passenger side vents so they point completely downward or away from their face before you even start driving. If it is a windy day outside, don't suggest a walk in the park. Suggest an indoor activity where the air is stable. When it comes to meals at home, completely eliminate dry, crunchy, crumbly, or highly abrasive textures unless there is a heavy broth, a rich sauce, or a smooth gravy to accompany it. Food must be moist and easy to swallow. Furthermore, you should make sure their care kit is always fully stocked. Help them keep preservative-free artificial tears, lubricating overnight eye gels, silagogues, which are saliva-stimulating lozenges, and a high-quality, insulated water bottle close at hand. If they are rushing out the door and forget it, you should be the one to remember it. When they see you protecting their physical environment without them having to ask, a massive weight is lifted off their shoulders. To promise you will help protect their physical environment and honor their constant need for moisture and hydration, type the word moisture in the comments right now. Tip number 3. Do not expect them to just push through a flare-up. Sjogren's is a systemic disease, meaning its destructive impact reaches far beyond just dry eyes and a dry mouth. It can affect the joints, muscles, blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, lungs, and liver. Because it is a fluctuating, unpredictable condition, your loved one will go through cycles. They will have periods where their symptoms are relatively stable and manageable, followed by sudden, aggressive flare-ups where their immune system goes into overdrive, causing their health to deteriorate rapidly over the span of a few hours. During a flare-up, systemic inflammation can attack the lining of their joints, mimicking the pain of rheumatoid arthritis. Their knees, wrists, fingers, and ankles can become swollen, stiff, and intensely painful to move. The inflammation can also target the peripheral nervous system, causing a condition known as small fiber neuropathy. This manifests as an agonizing burning sensation, numbness, tingling, or electric shock-like pains in their hands, arms, legs, and feet. Alongside the physical pain, a flare-up brings a profound cognitive symptom known as brain fog. This isn't just everyday forgetfulness. Brain fog is a real, measurable neurological impairment caused by central nervous system inflammation and poor sleep quality due to pain. During intense brain fog, your loved one will find it incredibly difficult to track conversations, recall basic words, remember what they were doing mid-sentence, process complex information, or make simple choices. The single worst thing you can do during these difficult moments is to try and use logic, reasoning, guilt, or emotional pressure to force them to keep going or honor previous commitments. You must never say things like, "But we paid a lot of money for these tickets weeks ago, and you looked completely fine this morning, can't you just tough it out for 2 hours?" You always cancel on our friends and family at the very last minute. If you really cared about this relationship or this family event, you would find a way to ignore the pain and push through it. You just need to change your mindset. If you keep giving in to the pain, you are letting the disease win. Just get up and move around, you'll feel better. Trying to reason them out of a flare-up or demanding that they tough it out is a fundamentally losing battle because their biological systems are actively misfiring. Pushing through an autoimmune flare-up is not a matter of mental toughness, willpower, or character. When the immune system is actively attacking the body, forcing physical exertion causes the body to release high levels of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones directly accelerate and worsen systemic inflammation. Forcing a Sjogren's patient to push through a flare-up actually causes the immune system to ramp up its attack, which can prolong the flare-up for weeks, worsen joint damage, or potentially trigger deeper, dangerous organ involvement in the lungs or kidneys. Instead of fighting the unyielding reality of their illness, you need to completely shift your mindset from disappointment to active accommodation. You must meet them exactly where they are in that exact moment without an ounce of resentment. When a flare-up hits, become their partner in managing it. You should say things like, "I can see that your joints and your energy are hitting a wall right now, and I know how frustrating that must be for you. The money we spent on these tickets doesn't matter at all. Your health and your comfort are the only priorities here. Let's pack up, head straight home, get your heating pad, and I will message our friends to let them know we have to reschedule. Please don't stress about trying to explain it or find the words right now. I know the brain fog is really heavy today. Let's just put on a movie, you don't have to talk at all, and we can discuss this plan tomorrow when your head feels a bit clearer and rested. When you remove the heavy emotional burden of them feeling like they are letting you down, disappointing the family, or ruining the day, you dramatically lower their physiological stress levels. By creating a calm, safe environment where they are allowed to be sick without being punished with attitude or guilt, you are providing the best medicine possible. Lowering their emotional stress calms their nervous system, reduces cytokine production, and directly helps their body exit the flare-up state much faster. If you are ready to stop forcing them to push through the pain and start protecting their peace and comfort during an autoimmune flare-up, type the word support in the comments below. Let's recap. To truly change how you support the person you love, eliminate conflict from your household, and make your home a genuine safe haven from the daily ravages of this condition, you must commit to memorizing and practicing these 3 core rules. Rule number 1. Do not dismiss or minimize their fatigue as simple laziness or normal tiredness. It is a profound, cell-level inflammatory battle that cannot be cured by a good night of sleep. Rule number 2. Do not force or pressure them into dry, windy, smoky, or heavily air-conditioned environments that accelerate painful mucosal dryness and put their eyes and oral health at serious risk. Rule number 3. Do not expect them to just tough it out or push through an unpredictable, highly painful autoimmune flare-up. Pacing and immediate rest are biological necessities, not choices. If you can master these 3 adjustments and consciously avoid these common, well-meaning mistakes, your daily communication will become infinitely smoother. Your relationship will be completely free of the toxic resentment that so often destroys chronic illness households, and most importantly, your loved one will feel deeply protected, validated, and loved instead of isolated, judged, and abandoned in their pain. To help you get started on the practical, day-to-day management side of things, I have put together a comprehensive, step-by-step caregiving handout. This free guide covers exactly how to optimize your home's relative humidity levels to protect their eyes, the best safe food preparation techniques and recipes for severe swallowing difficulties, and an environmental checklist for traveling safely or eating out at restaurants without triggering a flare-up. The link to download that completely free guide is located right below this video in the description box. Thank you so much for watching today, for taking the time to truly learn the science behind this condition, and for being an incredible, compassionate support system for the people you love. When you educate yourself, you become a better partner and a better caregiver. I will see you all next week for our next deep dive. Take care of yourselves, and take care of each other.